is so expensive, but if you buy good quality wool, it'll outlast 2 kids, or even a fat man will go for it. This is your country uncle, Uncle John, telling you about family farmers and the wisdom of wool. I've been in the wool industry for 40 years, 20 years on farm and 20 years as an accountant advising farmers. And we're going to see an interview with Tim, part 1, and then also the great aspects of wool. I'm here today with Tim, and if you might be able to hear in the background, it's raining, so we thought this is a good time to do this interview. We'll just wait for the rain to pass, otherwise we might be in the house all day. So I'm here with Tim. He's on a family property for a long time, and I will just ask him the normal question that I've asked the previous interviewers. So Tim, what do you like about farming and why?
Well, I suppose the thing I probably get the most enjoyment out of nowadays is spending time with nature and animals. That's probably what it's all about, because I'm purely a grazing operation. I don't do any farming, so yeah, it's just being in nature, really.
Right.
Most days you're out in nature, and if you get time to slow down, you can actually, it's quite, it's very enjoyable. Yeah.
And yeah, so I interviewed a truck driver there the other day, and he enjoyed travelling the countryside, seeing different, speaking to different people. Would you prefer to do that, or So to me, you stay here on the family farm. So is it the just working for yourself and all that sort of thing as well?
It is that, but it's also getting satisfaction out of seeing improvement in what you're doing.
Right.
When I say improvement, I mean more an ecological improvement in trying to see each year the country improving, the ecology improving, as in native plants, the native landscape. Jesus, it's raining now.
So I'm going to turn this down. I'm just going to turn the rain down a bit, and that's about the best I can do. Sorry, listeners, but it's raining very heavily. But that's part of where this is real life interviews on a real life farm, and
it's quite exciting.
And Tim is listeners, I can tell you, Tim is very happy at the present moment. So we've got him in a good mood today. So we'll take that as a plus. But no, it's raining very heavily. So this is in the autumn 2023. We had a dry summer. Funny enough, we had a wet summer, then a dry summer, and now we've had a beautiful autumn break, which you can hear. Okay, so this is what do you like about farming? Why? Okay, the second question. So can you just tell us about yourself? So how long have you been farming for?
Right, yeah. Well, I'm leaving school at the age of 18. I probably entered farming then because, this is a family property, and I was fortunate enough to inherit this from my father.
Yes.
And he inherited it from his father.
Yes.
And his father invented it from his father. So it's a long.
So your great grandfather.
Yeah, started with all this country.
Right.
Yeah, in the mid 1800s. So I'm very fortunate to be, a recipient of looking after it in my lifetime.
Yes.
And it's a matter of doing my best to improve it. So when I hand it on to my son, it's in a better state than when I got it.
Yes. Yes.
So
yes.
Anyway, so getting back to your question, I started then. I put a couple of years into an ag college, which was quite interesting and had a lot of fun. But I'm now nearly 68, and so I've been basically except for my.
Well, let's go 58. You said 68.
Oh yeah, 58. Sorry.
Nearly 60.
Yeah, nearly 60. So it's
same age as me.
Exactly. Sorry.
Yep. And so your education. So you went to college,
yes.
And you did learn a bit there. And there was a diploma. You got a diploma.
Yes.
But you did indicate. You've told me before that you learnt there was some animal health. You learnt some animal health things. Did you learn? Is that right? You learned that from college?
Yeah. No, it was a very broad. It was called a farm management course, and it was a very broad and in-depth coverage of everything to do with managing the property.
Yes.
And we did cover everything from animal health to agronomy to finances, and it was all done in a class, basically in a room. It wasn't so much hands-on, but it was a brilliant course. And look, I use a lot of that knowledge every day.
And it's now come to an end. Like that college is now.
Oh yeah, and look, they nearly all have sadly. There's hardly any left.
Yes. Yes.
Just, you know,
But it was beneficial to you.
very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all the people I went through with, they all feel the same way.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
they got a lot out of it. So very sad. That,
Yeah.
just I think through lack of the culture's had a lot of tough years, and I think a lot of people have got out of it. And,
Yeah. But also now, well, your son's doing vet science,
yeah.
and you've got a daughter who's an accountant in rural regional New South Wales. But the point being, you can only sort of do ag science degrees now. Like there's no. Well, there's a college just north of Newcastle. And I forget the name of the college now. Though, but most you cannot do a college. You cannot do a education that you did do when you were teenagers.
I think there is still the one in Victoria.
Oh, Marcus Oldham.
Which
Yeah, right.
I think it pretty well covers a similar. I have look. I've
Yeah.
my understanding would be very similar.
Yeah.
That's the only one I know of.
Okay. So the big question is, why are you a farmer, and how did you get into it?
Well, as you can already know, I was fortunate enough to.
In-
Growing up on a farm, you tend to just look. It's an easy avenue. You know, it's there. You've got the opportunity to do it, and I suppose that was the beginning of going down that road. You know, it was just an easy option. But once you do get involved, your passion grows. I think. Yeah.
I definitely don't agree with you. I went home with a family farm myself, and I got out because it's not for me. And I do have other cousins that have got out of farming, but I've also got other cousins that have stuck it out and love it. So, what would you do? What do you not like about farming, and why? What do you not like about it?
Probably, for a start, you've got to be a bit of a loner, and unless you're running a large enterprise where you've got a lot of employees. If you spend a lot of time on your own, working on your own, so you've got to be happy in your own company.
Yep.
And that's one thing which is pretty major, and I think that a lot of extroverts would struggle with that. I would think. The other big thing for me is it's just such a traditional industry. It's frustrating in many ways, I find. The traditional nature of it, and particularly so in my case because I'm a wool producer, which I love, but it's probably the most traditional industry of the lot. I mean, generally there's a lot of producers out there who haven't changed the way they do things since their grandfather or great-grandfather did it. I mean, anyway, so for me that's probably the two big negatives. But luckily I'm an introvert, so working on my own doesn't really worry me. But yeah, that's probably sums it up. But other than that, no, I can't find many other negatives.
And so we're just doing this interview a couple of days after there was a publicity about how pigs were killed and all those sort of things. And that's negative publicity that the people everyone in Australia will, if not the world, have access to. That is probably, it's not actually, that was an industry standard way of killing the animal, but yet we have to, you and other people in the prime production industry still have to, you've still got to produce food and do that, but there's going to be a negative connotation about how the pigs are killed. So does that, so my point being, that is, people in Sydney and Melbourne or whatever are going to remember that negative aspect greatly above any positive aspect of planting trees or caring for the pigs and all that sort of thing. Does that worry you that the negative aspects of farming get highlighted?
I don't know if it worries me, because I think it's important it is highlighted, because we always want to see improvement. If we don't highlight these things, nothing's going to change. So I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing, but it's a curly question. It's we all find it confronting to see those sort of things, and there has to be in this day and age, with all the science and the knowledge we have, there has to be better ways to be able to do these things. And this sort of thing, sadly, has to happen sometimes.
Yep.
For the improvement to occur.
Yep. Yep.
And I just hope, I send just like everyone else, I send my animals sadly off to an abattoir. I don't enjoy doing it either, but it's a fact of life, and I wish they could all just pass away here on the place, but that's not an option, because obviously I wouldn't be here, I'd be broke.
So the sheep live for 5 or 6 years of age,
yes.
and when they get to that age, they become, their production decreases.
Yeah.
And therefore you are better off to sell them and replace them with younger stock, and you sell those. Okay, listeners, it's stopped raining, we're going outside. No, we'll finish the interview. And then you sell these animals, and they are processed.
They are processed.
Yeah.
And being merino sheep, most of them they all turn into mutton, which the majority of that goes overseas to overseas consumers.
Yeah, but my point being, it is part of your business operation to budget for that you're going to get X amount of dollars for your animals that have been 5 or 6 years on your farm, and then you're going to sell them.
It is,
and that's part of your income.
It is. As I say, I don't enjoy. I get quite upset doing it.
Yeah.
Particularly animals that the girls, you become loyal to them and they become a bit loyal to you.
Yes.
It's quite sad, but it's a fact of life.
Yes.
Righto, thanks Tim. That's part 1 of the interview. Second part next week. Now we're going on to the great aspects of wool.
If you're new here, we go over products and principles for a simple, serene life. If you're anything like me, then you spend a lot of time watching Backpack Tube, Travel Tube, Minimalism Tube, and all the other tubes that deal with minimalist products, minimalist packing, and different things that you can use in your everyday life that solve problems and allow you to live more simply. One of the common themes that I always found was that people are always talking about merino wool. When I originally heard about merino wool, I looked up the price on it and I was like, no way. I could basically just buy synthetic materials and have a similar amount of odor resistance, lightweight, and also ability to wear things multiple times and not have to pay this huge price tag. But in reality, merino wool is absolutely amazing, and the truth about merino wool is that it's worth every penny to me. Not only is it comfortable and smooth, and depending on the weight of the material that you buy, it can be either super warm or also moisture wicking and allow you to regulate temperatures adequately. So if you use the lighter density, it can be good for tropical environments or somewhere where it's really hot and you'll be sweating a lot. Or if you're going to a cold weather environment, you can also get the heavier weight ones, and then you can use them to keep you warm as a base layer, as an outer layer, and you have a lot of different options as far as material. I've taken the clothes you see before me on a number of different trips, and they've performed very exceptionally. They've been comfortable, they've been soft against my skin, they've regulated my temperature, they've whipped my sweat away, they've done everything that they advertise to do. And the antimicrobial and anti-odor properties are really what I like most of all. Because most of these things, if you wear them for a day, even if you sweat a little, even if you wear them in multiple locations, you can just hang it up in your accommodation overnight. And when you wake up in the morning, they'll be dry and free of odor. And that's really helped me pack minimally. As you know, I'm a personal item only packer. That's what I prefer to do. I love to just put my stuff under the seat, keep it simple, keep it minimal, and really strategize the way I pack. And merino wool has allowed me to do that because I can bring just 1 or 2 shirts, 1 pair of pants, a couple pairs of socks, and a couple pairs of underwear, and I have enough to wear throughout the week. And if they do start to smell, then I can just do sink laundry, and I know with their quick drying properties that they'll dry effectively overnight, and they're also wrinkle resistant, so I don't have to worry about looking like a slob. The products you see before you, I've taken on multiple trips, and they come from 4 different merino wool manufacturers. So let's go over them individually, and we can go over how I've used them, how I think they hold up, their quality, and whether or not they would be brands that you'd like to support or products that you'd like to purchase. And I'll put all the links in the description below if you want to pick up any of these items. So we'll start with the newest one I picked up, which is from a company called Merino.tech. And this company kind of favors active wear, but they make all kinds of different merino wool products. The one I've got here is just a black sleeveless shirt or tank top. And this is a really great piece of merino wool gear. It's very lightweight, it's extremely soft and comfortable, it fits me extremely well, And I'm not really a guy that wears a lot of sleeveless shirts because I'm a larger guy, but this really works well if I'm going to a workout situation, I'm going on a long hike, I'm going to the beach for the day, or also its use case that I use most frequently is as an undershirt underneath a button-up shirt. So you can really use this to wear underneath a button-up shirt. It looks really nice, it fits well, and whether you're doing active stuff or you're going to a nice dinner, this could fit in easily. I've got it in the black color. It also comes in other colorways, and it's just a really comfortable, useful shirt, and it looks great on me, so I highly suggest it. Then I also have a number of items from a brand called Woolen Prince, but the one I'm showcasing here today is just this navy blue Henley t-shirt. And this is a really great t-shirt, and I really love Henley t-shirts because you can dress them up or down. You can wear them in a more formal environment if you put a blazer over them, or you put some kind of button down that's unbuttoned. You can keep it buttoned up, you can unbutton it if you want to be a little bit more casual. It fits into so many different environments that Henley t-shirts are great to have. And this is a really great lightweight material. It's super soft, it's super comfortable. And a lot of people say that they have problems with the durability of merino wool products, and they say that the backpack straps, when they're wearing it, will kind of like wear down that part of the shirt. I don't know. I've worn this with fully loaded out travel backpacks multiple times that were really heavyweight, and I've never had any issues. You can't see any wear whatsoever, and I've taken this on multiple trips. So I think that that's a little bit of a misnomer, because to me, this has held up extremely well. The only thing with merino wool that you have to keep in mind is when you wash it, I would wash it on either cool or cold water and then hang to dry. But like I said, it dries really fast, so that's not really an issue for me. Yeah, you can't just toss it in the dryer with your other crappy clothes, but that's something that I'm willing to deal with when it comes to quality materials. I do the same thing with a cashmere sweater or something. So just think of it like that, and it keeps it really nice, and Woolen Prince is a great brand.
Righto, so there's a truth about wool products. And remember, life's short, find your joy, and always remember it, so you always enjoy.